You're listening to the Academy Podcast, presenting an innovative curriculum for personal growth. Sit in on exclusive conversations with influential people as they share the secrets that made them the front runners in their industries. Now here are your hosts, Austin and Kagia.
All right. Hey, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, man.
Hey, Black, I got to say this, though, right? I got to say this off the jump because a lot of people don't know this. And every time you do somebody's podcast, you kind of want to give them something that don't nobody else got. You feel me? So everybody knows me as E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Before E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, I was just Eric Thomas, all right?
That's right.
And listen to me, y'all. Y'all got to hear this. Pastor Humphreys gave me my first opportunity at Lake Conference Youth did back in the day, y'all.
That's right.
Don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. His pops was the first one to notice my gift when nobody, and let me just tell y'all this. He was getting the flack. He was taking the heat for it. Hey, but that's what happens when you a guru. That's what happens when you a genius. You see before everybody else sees. And so he was a maverick. He saw it early on. I was in my early 20s. He'd have me every year at camp meeting.
Every year.
Every year, baby. Every year he had me, baby. I was down there kicking it. You know, some of the theology majors was a little hurt because I wasn't in theology and I was getting, the hookup. But he saw something early in the kid. He saw something early in the kid, bro. And I know he'd be proud of me because I'm still doing it at a high level, man.
Yo, listen, back to the E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, right? Because I had a 20-minute argument with somebody one day because they was like, "Yeah, your boy, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher." I said, "What are you talking about, man? He is not rapping, man. His name is not E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. What are you talking about? You're talking foolishness."
That's right.
We can just look it up on our phones or whatever. I was like, "Man, you out of your mind." The old doc. Listen, you're supposed to be all right, because people want to put you in the box, right? You're a motivational speaker. So, right, you go to schools and speak at a business, right. But all of a sudden now, this man is dropping albums, all right? This dude is dropping motivational albums.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur, right? I used to be, so I used to listen to all the Les Browns. I used to listen to the tapes. They putting out tapes where they talking. This man putting out on beats, all right? I'm grind.
Unbelievable.
So I appreciate the let me just throw this out, right? I appreciate your well-roundedness or your creativity in the field of motivational speaking, because you're not just a motivational speaker. You also drop albums. You also, for like 8 years, did a show every Monday. Thank God it's Monday. So, I mean, you was the first one out there on the interwebs, you know what I'm saying? Hitting it like that. So I appreciate, man, you've been dabbling in a lot of different things and not just going to businesses, not just going to the businesses of the world and the schools of the world to speak, but also like branching out and doing all kind of stuff. So, man, I give you a big shout out for that, Doc.
Let me say this, though. I got to keep it 100, y'all. And again, y'all don't get it because y'all was doing it. So when you're doing stuff, it's not the same as when somebody's watching you do it. You feel me? Like when you're actually engaged in the process. But you got to think, G, Pine Forge at that time when you were there, like y'all was super creative, bro. Like you guys were taking, the movement in a whole different direction. I had never seen people, like you would do drills, but you'd go in the closet. Like, bro, that wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't like natural. That was like unique. So you got to understand, I'm a kid from the hood. I never went to church. So I kind of thought about church as being like, kind of dead, stale. But then I see phase one come. Y'all was the first ones with the stage lights, bro. Y'all had the stage lights. Y'all had the smoke. You feel me? Y'all was getting off the bus, like doing tours, like real tours. You feel me? And I was like 17, 18, from the west side of D. I went to a Detroit Center. When I tell you it was conservative and like small, and no disrespect, I love my home church, but it was dead a little bit.
It was dead a lot of bit.
Phase one, I was like, what? So then what I ended up doing was watching phase one, end up going to Oakwood, seeing the AY stuff, seeing all the creativity, the Take Sixes of the world, the Brian McKnights, you know, the best preachers, you know, Barry Black, all the preachers in our church coming. Bruh, all I did was look at all of that. And then when I started doing my own thing, I was like, yo, that creativity that you see, you got to keep doing that, E. Like, you got to elevate that creativity. So I was really biting. I was really biting, but I was so creative with it that people thought it was coming from me.
All right. Speaking about biting, all right. Yeah. So I'm watching this sermon the other day. We pre-recorded the sermon. I'm watching myself preach.
He want to snitch on himself.
Yo,
did I take his stuff? Humphrey,
no. I'm watching this sermon. And I'm like, dang. I keep saying stuff, and I'm like, man, that sounds like E.T. And I'm like, am I biting off E.T. or is this because we go from the crib?
We both from the crib. We both from the crib.
Nah, he trying to use it as an excuse. He bit off the whole thing, Doc. He bit off the whole thing.
Yeah, we from the crib. Hey, and quiet as kept, he was the first one to go and do the studious boy. So I was just coming after him. That's all. Yeah. I just switch it up so sweet. They'll be knowing I be biting.
No, what I love about what you just said, E.T., you know, when my dad used to bring you in, one of the things he used to tell us, we would be excited. You come to the small churches and you were Eric Thomas, no E.T. But Dad would always tell us in the car after you would just, the Lord would just move. He's different. It's different. Yeah. It's creative. It's something new. And it just kind of seems like it's, for you, it's always a different level. When we listen to your podcast religiously, talk to us about the difference that you bring to the table that makes you so effective.
You know, I think what happens is just being real, what we've all been exposed to. We know the E. Clevelands. You feel me? Like, we know that's like, whoa, the Elder Wards. We know, like, from an administrative standpoint, like, whoa. But I think what happens sometimes is we get so comfortable in receiving that we forget we have to be them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be them to others, because although they gone, and that genius still lives in us. So I'm always thinking, all right, people going to get tired of us. You know, they're going to get tired of us if they come back and they feel like, aha, I got him. I know what he going to say. And again, I know this is being recorded. I hope Tyler Perry don't get mad at me. But, bruh, I promise you, I look at some Tyler Perry stuff. And the reason why, you know, I used to, like, get discouraged and not watch some of it is because I felt like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Right. And you like to watch stuff that make you go, whoa, where did that come from? I was watching I think it was called Widows. I think that was the name of the show.
Yeah.
And she, like, at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, snap. I can't believe that happened. And so when I preach, I'm like, E, you can't be so scripted. Everybody know the word already. Everybody know the stories already. You can't say them in a way where they feel like, man, I ain't even need to listen to that. So I try to add some stuff, you know, to it. But I saw G speaking the other day. I didn't think he was biting, but I was looking at his stadium. I was looking at the backdrop, he had the high ceilings. I was seeing what he was doing. Yeah, I'm watching too, y'all. I'm paying attention. Y'all ain't gonna get away. Y'all ain't gonna get away from your boy.
Yo, and how is that going, man? I know you were building up there last time I was there. How's that going?
Man, let me tell y'all, man, this is why, you know, for all of us, and we got to continue to encourage our brethren. Sometimes when you don't see progress, especially when you compare, because look, we all know each other and we all following each other. So you can get caught up if you're not careful with, oh man, G, they doing this, they got the podcast, you know, they doing Humphreys, he doing this. Like, I remember when he was a little fella, and then the next thing I know, he preaching. I didn't even know he was gonna be preaching. Then I look up, he preaching and hooping and hollering. He hooping. I'm like, yo, hooping. He about to get in trouble. He hollering. He about to float. You know, and so you have to be careful though when you see other men in their gift and not go, well, when is it gonna be my time? It's gonna be your time when it's your time. And you don't want to go. I told my daughter this the other day, man. Love my little girl, 22. She in grad school. She was just like, Dad, I'm doing the right stuff. And it just seemed like, you know, I can't find a man. I said, sweetheart, let me tell you something. You'd rather wait on the Lord. You'd rather wait on the Lord to give you somebody than to go ahead of the Lord and pick your own person. If you want to see destruction, if you want to see disappointment, if you want to see disaster, I promise you, if you pick your own, you gonna see that. And so I told her, just chill out, just wait. So for a lot of us, man, you know, we comparing, and I didn't compare. I went a whole year bro, year and a half, where we tearing this building down. We not getting a permit. That we in a white neighborhood. They wouldn't give us our permits. They wouldn't let us start the building process. They told us that, yeah, you might have bought it, but you ain't about to build no church at it. Man, it took about 3, 4, 6 months going to, what do you call them? City council meeting after city council meeting, bro. They looking up my past, my history, bro, crazy stuff. And finally, the Lord let us break ground. We built the building. Listen to me, y'all ain't gonna laugh. Y'all know how God is. As soon as we finished building the building in July, in January, COVID-19, or February, COVID-19, bro, we just spent $500,000 to build this gorgeous edifice. And as soon as we get prepared, that sucker shut down. But watch this. A couple of our members left church and was discouraged because they was watching it through FaceTime. And it was like, Pastor, this is not working. You're going to have to get technology. We spent about 40 grand on cameras and stuff. It all got fixed and situated in March, y'all. In March, we went from 200 members to over 50-some thousand people watching, starting in COVID-19. Unbelievable. So I'm just saying, at first I was like, man, God, why it take so long for us to, and then God, why we get a building and now we can't even come to the building? And God was like, relax. I got this. And so, man, we got 7 days a week. We're doing a different ministry online. Different ministers are taking different ministries. And man, this thing is, we got a mega. Somebody said we got a mega church. I was like, no, we don't got a mega church. It's only 100-some people come to church. We got a mega virtual church.
That's it. Mega ministry. That's what
Hey, how did you come up with the name? Like, tell me the thought process of coming up with the name of the ministry.
Biting. I was biting. I was sitting there, Democratic National Convention. Barack Obama became, Democratic National, candidate. Then he became president, and he walked out with his wife and his kids, and it said change. And I was like, ooh, a place of change.
Yeah.
I'm like, a place of change. I told you I'd be biting, but I make it so sweet. You don't know I'll be biting, G.
That's it. That's how you got to
figure out where you're going, dude, because I don't consider that biting, but I got you. That's what you got the idea. I was
like, yo, he's talking about change for the next 4 years, but where's that place that we change? Where's that environment at? So I was like, yo, we'll call ourselves the place of change, because when you come here, hopefully you'll come one way, but you'll leave changed.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's real good.
Quick, man, how do you make a physical place into a virtual place and still have it be a place that people come to? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, because a place, usually you think of the place that you go to, but now it's a place that you see.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this though. I see you sporting the Run DMC glasses. I wanted to make sure I brought that out before we went too far. I see you got the Run DMC. Run DMC. Yeah, no doubt. I see you, baby. I think what you got to do, G, first of all, don't panic. A lot of my people in the beginning was panicking, bro. And I said to them, listen to me very closely. It is not the physical building that makes a house a home. You feel me? Like, let's sit down and relax for a minute. What are the elements of a home? Let's talk this out. What are the elements of a home? And so they were just talking about, hey, I don't want to get into no marriage thing, but my wife tell me all the time, you was present, but you wasn't present. I'm like, I'm sitting right here next to you. Yeah. She's like, I know, but you wasn't here. I'm like, but I watched it. I was watching. She's like, but you was on your phone. Your mind was all over the place. And so the first thing I told him was like, yo, we got to be present more than we've ever been present before. So through the virtual phone calls, the conference calls, through the Zooms, we just got to stay present, like making sure 7 days a week. Bruh, we pray every morning at 4:00. We got another 12 o'clock hookup we do. I'm talking about, the other day they had me dying laughing. We actually played Taboo in board games on the phone. We was on Zoom and split up in different rooms, and we played.
The Zoom rooms. That's a win.
Yeah, you feel me? They taught me how to do it. I don't know how to do it, but we went in these separate rooms and playing these games, and so everybody just still feel like the stuff that we was doing in the building, we still doing it over Zoom. Now we do have to tell our saints, make sure you got your bottoms on when you're zooming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw that video.
Don't forget to put your bottoms on when you're doing your Zoom, boy.
Listen, man. Hey, right off the bat, let me tell you this. I am gonna bite. Yeah. I am gonna bite that. And I see that.
No, that's yours. I thought you said bite. No, that ain't bite.
Yo, there's something that we see like on the internet, like a place of change. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you are doing with your members.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot under that iceberg. So I see that. So it's still a place. You still have an environment that people can participate in, not just watch a show.
Yep. Now watch this. Here's two things I did that the Lord was like, look, you got to do this. So I paid a dude named Anthony Flynn. He's a coach, and he's doing a lot of leadership training with us. So I have my top like 20, most invested members going through this leadership. So it's a lot of work that he got us doing. So it's keeping us busy. And it's like, yo, since we don't have the time we had before, why don't we spend time on the vision of the church? We revamping the vision, the mission, the budget, like we revamping everything. So we brought an expert in. He's trained like Chick-fil-A and all these other different companies. So it's like, yo, guys, we don't got nothing to do. We got a lot more time on our hand. Why don't we give God like some serious 6 months of intense training, revamping the whole ministry? Of course, the tithe have gone up and the offering since, when you're doing virtual, bro, and you got 30, 40,000 people coming, that's, hey, here's the deal. Hey, here's the deal, bro. There are a lot of people coming saying our churches just weren't ready virtually.
Yep.
And we've been gone since March, and it ain't like we were trying to leave them and come to you, but they're not ready. So we got these 30-some thousand people. So the other thing that we've done is we've taken at least about 40 or 50 of our members and made them ministers now. So it's like, okay, now you take Monday and y'all work with the singles. Okay, now y'all work with the men's group. Okay, y'all work with the marriage group. Okay, y'all work with the children's group. Bro, we're about to have a harvest, since we can't do the harvest party here, we're about to do a virtual harvest party where we send them all the ingredients, tell them everything they need to get. And if they can't do it, they can come by the church and somebody's going to be waiting for them to give them a care package, a drive-by, put it in. So then we come on, you have all the stuff you need for the scavenger hunt that we're going to be doing, for the, what do you call that? The Bible, charades. Like, we just keeping people busy, bro. And we just know the more they're engaged, the more they're going to stay. I think a lot of people ain't going to want to come back. You know what I'm saying, G? I don't know. I don't know if church is ever going to go back.
It's not going to be the same, man.
Who it once was. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Not all the way. Not all the way. Yeah. So tell me this, man. How has your motivational speaking evolved? We understand that like I opened up by talking about how many different kinds of things you're doing, but just from day one, from speaking in schools down there in the Huntsville area, to going to Atlanta, to now you've been doing it over 20 years. Like, how has your speaking evolved? I don't know, this is like a loaded question. How was it the first time that you spoke like straight motivational speech and leading up to now?
Well, man, the difference now, man, is one, we're adults. When I was doing it in Cassopolis, I was a kid. And really all I was focused on was I want to do a good message. You know what I'm saying? I want Pastor Humphreys to be proud of me. I want him to bring me back. Like, I don't want to be one of those guys that speak once and you never see me again. So I was really focused on myself, and just making sure I did a good message, that the young people liked it and that it would, change their hearts. But now as an adult, who has a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old, and I see myself more like a Martin Luther King, more like a Marcus Garvey, a Malcolm X. And it's not just about, spiritually transforming people's lives and, personally helping people with their marriage. It's also now economics, bro. I realize that as a grown man, I believe in racism, but it's something deeper than racism. It's called economics. You feel me? And economics is a way to keep the masses at bay. And I realize the more money you have, the more you can navigate in this society. Let's just keep it real. It's called capitalism. You feel me? That's the name of the game. It's capitalism. And so now what I realize is that there are 5 ways that most white Americans have made their money. And I have to do my part to help my people to do that. And so I'll give you an example. So economically, we're all about now putting people to work. So my company has grown from, me, CJ, and Carl to about 20-something staff members. We provide health insurance. We provide physical jobs. And a big part of the job, is not the job. It's all about freedom. Like, they come to work when they want to. If they need to go home for Thanksgiving and stay for a week, Christmas for a week, the work you got to get done. I'm not about to make you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and stay here to 6. You know what you need to get done. You need to have time for God. We pray together as a crew, the whole 9. So then the other thing is real estate. Real estate is one of the ways that white America has become wealthy. And the reason why real estate is not it's not a game, because everybody got to live in a house, bro. It's not a game. It's not a what do you call that? A multi-level marketing scheme. It's not something you need to be afraid of. Just my people need to get on the right side of real estate. You already in real estate. You probably just paying somebody. You feel me? You already in real estate. So when people say, man, I'm afraid to get in real estate, what does that mean? You already in it.
You're already in it.
You already in it. You already paid rent or mortgage or something. But you're on the wrong side of it. So one of the things that we're doing, we have a big thing in Chicago and New Orleans where we're helping people either get, properties where 4-unit properties, and Humphreys, you know all about that, being from Chicago, G from Detroit, you know all about that. So these properties have been there since the 1800s, 1900s. They're going to be there afterwards. So the second thing that I realized is that the reason why I started doing real estate is because I don't know for sure that Jalen is going to be a speaker. You don't know that, G. You don't know your baby's going to all want to speak and preach. You feel me? You don't know that. And so I can't pass down that either. But I can give them a building. I can give them a 4-unit building or an 8-unit building that has 8 people paying $1,200 or $1,500 a month. I can give them that. And even when I'm gone, it's just like these NBA owners. They give them their teams. Like, they give them the teams. So number 2 is real estate. Number 3, G, is what I'm learning is how to show you how to take what you're doing in terms of preaching, Humphreys, what you're doing in terms of preaching, and how to take that and turn it into an online program. Like, turn it into an online program where you're making residual income in your sleep. The 4th one is life insurance, right? Life insurance is the other way how white America has blown up. And listen to me, I'm not talking about, I don't know why we own this, but we act like, especially as Christians, you're supposed to know the one guarantee. I don't care what our doctrinal beliefs are. I don't care what faith you come from. We all believe you die.
Straight up.
Right? And so what white America has done historically is put insurance policies on all their family members. So in the event that the kids die or they die, so they getting paid. And the earlier you start, the better. And you can do it in a way where you can do the type of life insurance policy where you can still get the money back if you need to. So if you've been putting money into it for 20 years and you fell on hard times, it's almost like stocks and bonds. You can actually go and lend on some of the money, right? And here's the final one, G, that I know is going to scare a lot of people. But we do life insurance where CJ, myself, Jamal, because we're all worth so much, we have policies on each other. So if CJ was to die, I got a life policy on CJ, right? Why? Because CJ is one of the top producers of incomes and ideas in our company. And so we've been doing that. And the final one is the DISC assessment. Man, G, the DISC assessment has been out since 1928, right? And it is something that they use in the NBA, they use it in the NFL, they use it in corporate America. Our communities are the only communities that's not using it. So I've turned the DISC assessment into what I call the flight assessment. I use it for my NBA clients, NBA teams. I actually wrote a book called You Ain't the Boss of Me. And inside the book, and I use this for school districts, training in school districts. The 4 characters from the DISC assessment, as you see them right here. These are the 4 characters. I just turn them into names. The D is Dave, the I is Iggy, the S is Sydney, and the C is Courtney. And they actually, They read the book, and when you go through the book, you take the test, and at the end, it shows you what careers you should do. And I just turned it into a profession. Hey, I cheated. You see, I got myself in there. I got myself in there. I branded myself in there, G. I had to, G. I want to show you one other thing I did that's important. And this is why I say we need to do real estate. We need to do all these investments because not only did I add myself in here, there's a section in here. Hope I can find it real quick. I'm sorry, but I added my son in here and the work that he's doing, right? So the book is like 30 something to take the test. The book is 90. I've got school districts buying them in the groves. I've got training teachers. And so now I have people that I'm training. You can use it at your church, and, you charge your church a small amount, but train them. I'm using it for marriages, showing marriages like this is who you are. This is why you beefing with your wife. And the love languages are great. But one of the things that William Marston does, he gives you an analysis of who you are when you're doing well, but he also shows you the person you become when you're stressed out or you're angry, you're upset. The other assessments don't do that. So this one shows you when you're going through your drama or your trauma, who you are. And so those are the 5 areas though, G, but now I'm about economic empowerment. Our people have to make money. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Y'all know I love this church. I love the work that I do, but I honestly tell you that when you get to a certain point and you're able to make a certain amount of money, they treat you differently. I'm not saying that's good or bad.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just telling you, people treat you differently when they know you don't need them. They still have a relationship with you. They still love you. They still, provide for you, but they treat you differently when they know they don't need you. So, the Bible says that we should be. First, he said he blessed us, but then he said, "Be fruitful, multiply." How do you multiply? Real estate, life insurance, MLMs. This is how you multiply. And our white brethren have been doing it forever. You feel me? Even when you look at our structure and all these churches and they paying a tithe, that's a system. That's a system, right? That's a system.
So look, just as I'm hearing you talk about it, instead of just because I thought you were going to bring up real estate and drop it, but you talked about real estate, life insurance. You talked about the segment. So you talk about multiple streams of income. So if one market isn't doing as well, then you still got streams of income coming in. And I also heard you talking about stacking stuff that's for the future. That's for the next generation and not just taking care of yourself.
And so I would say the 800 credit score, $100,000 in the bank, and why do I tell people to do this? Because there's certain things you can get with credit that you don't have to have cash. And then if you have cash, when you look at we're buying properties now, bro, that's going so cheap. Why? Because we're in a recession. Bro. I'm telling y'all, let me tell y'all this, man. Part 2 later, we'll cover this. But when I sat in that room with Warren Buffett, bro, he said something about vultures and where vultures come when something is dead. Yeah. That's what he said. And he was in Detroit during the recession in 2008. I sat at the table with him 2008, 2009, 2010. I don't remember the exact year. But they were literally, I'm not playing. I was like, what is he doing in Detroit? They literally bought up downtown Detroit. They were buying, when I tell you they were buying these high risings or whatever you call these, big buildings downtown Detroit, like 50-story buildings for like $500,000, bro. You can't, my house in Cali costs 4 times that. It's a house. They were buying, why? Because the Detroit was just like dead. The car, whatever, they came in and bought it. I watched this with my own eyes. Dan Gilbert gave me an office right across from his office. I literally watched them build these buildings, take these young, brilliant minds, put them in the buildings, charge them rent, charge them like 15, 20% of their business ideas. And they were like incubators where they helped them build their businesses. Now imagine in a 50-story high rise and you got 100 and something, 200 companies of millennials in there coming up with these great ideas, and they're getting paid rent and they're getting paid a percentage off of all these kids. And that's the last thing I'm doing that I didn't mention, G. But now, you look at Toby, the Wigway, one of our hip hop artists, we're literally now taking talent and helping talent get off their feet, and we get a percentage of whatever, whatever they blow up on. So I'm telling you, man, this is a great time. This is not a bad time.
So in helping others, you're able to benefit while also benefiting others.
Absolutely.
I was going to say real quick, G, I know we pressed on time, but listen,
we got 10.
The last podcast that you did, ET, with your boys, and you all were talking about just the wealth, the generational wealth, and talked a lot about, I think Maul was speaking really a lot about how we can't be afraid of the real estate. So I want all of our listeners who are listening, who are watching, I mean, they've got formulas. I mean, you go to their website. I mean, me and my wife have been changing our finances over because we've been listening to the podcast that you do, ET. And I want to say thanks, bro, because I think a lot of times we don't get taught that, in our schools. We don't get taught about really generational wealth. We'll take one class on finance, but that's it. And so your podcast has really taught me, my wife personally, how we can't be afraid. We got to be educated on this stuff.
Yeah. And you know how scared I was originally, bruh? Before God really showed me, Abraham was paid. Joseph was paid. You feel me? Like these dudes, Paul been making real estate real. Paul was a tent maker. He been making real estate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So in the church, they taught us the spiritual side of it, which is great. They taught us the personal development side, which was great. But let's look at the economic, benefits. The Egyptians was getting paid off of the Israelites. They literally was real estate. They mortar and brick, y'all. They was building. They was helping them build societies. You feel what I'm saying? And so I bought 16 acres of land. We got a church and a business. We got another building across the street that we're renovating for an event planning space when people want to do small graduations. Another church needs a spot. You want to do weddings, baby showers, and then we're about to build a little drink shop. A little drink shop where people can come and get their smoothies, and things like that on the property. So we can another stream of income. So we can hire our teenagers. They can work at the shop, or college students while they're going to school. In the summer, they have a place to work. I'm just saying, bro, we the head, y'all. We the head. We the head, and we got to start acting like the head.
That's it. That's it.
Tell me this, E, because here you are. All right, because a lot of us just trying to make it. Like a lot of us not thinking about real estate because we just trying to pay our rent. We just trying to pay our mortgage, right? We just trying to make it. How is it? I'm looking at you, and most of us know the story, where you come from and the situation you started in, and how you had to learn, you had to work, you had to hustle, you had to grind. You know what I'm saying? I could play the song, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I grind. You understand that you grind, but how is it? I'm looking at you and I'm listening to you and I'm watching you and I'm like, man, this dude has not stopped grinding. Like the Lakers lost game 3. All right. Like they was
and almost lost it one last night because they was right. I'm saying they were just taking off, bro.
Well, how is it? What I'm saying is, how is it that you continually motivate yourself after having reached a spot where most people would call a plateau or a place of comfort, a place of you've gotten what you've gotten enough to maybe pass some stuff down already to your children. So how is it that you continue to innovate? Why you're not resting on what you're doing? Why you don't just keep doing the same thing? When you talk about what is my why? You know what I'm saying? I understand that you had a why that pushed you. You know what I'm saying? But I had the same why that you had. But my why ain't pushed me like your why pushed you. You know what I'm saying? So how is it, man, that you keep on grinding?
I think what it was for me, it was those second layers of whys. It was when I started saying, okay, now I got to do this for the Black community. Then first it started with African-American men. Then, of course, the whole African-American family. And then when I started doing my videos, you have people of all nationalities. And then you start having people in Australia and England, and, just all over the world, South Africa, that start, looking to me as an example. And so I think what happened was when I shifted from Didi, and my kids to the world, man, that really pushed me, bro. That really pushed me, man. Let me show them this. Just in case people like, what's that shirt? So that's
hold it up.
Control your destiny. All right.
Yeah.
You see yo-yo as the world. So in case people like, what is the little African-American kid he got on? So no, when it started growing outside of my family, it took on a whole nother beast, because it was like, wow, we as a people, there are opportunities that we have, but the reason why a lot of us aren't taking it because we don't know. And our people aren't talking about certain things. And I just was like, okay, E, you got to be responsible because you were in Detroit. The Lord bless you to get your GED. You went to Oakwood. I know everybody speak well in their school, but we understand that Oakwood is a different beast. I'm saying? The HBCU, hey, I know when they say HBCU, they call out some of the other ones, but they don't understand, how rich, our experience was. And I kind of felt like, okay, God gave you a gift and that he sent you there. You got to take Oakwood to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your responsibility. You got to take AY to the world because you know what AY meant to you. And you know it mean the same thing to them, but they don't know what it is. So I just started taking AY to the world. And when I started taking it to the world, I just was like, okay, until the day I die, I got to be responsible for, bringing that bridge between what people know, what they don't know, and then giving them that energy. People need energy. And that's what I give you. Like, I give you that energy to start your car. You know what I'm saying? To start your phone. You need energy. I don't care what kind of phone you got. You still need a battery. You need to charge your battery. So I'm that charger. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, a lot of people are Michael Jordans. They're the Michael Jordans of the world. They're very talented at what they do, but they need a Phil Jackson. And what Phil was to Mike, Mike was phenomenal. We know that. But Mike didn't win no championships without Phil. Once Phil came in his life, Phil gave him a system called the triangle offense. And then once Mike got in that triangle, there we go. Once Mike got in that triangle, once Shaq and Kobe got in that triangle, it was game over. And what I'm trying to do is create through real estate, MLMs, life insurance, online, coaching or online speaking, virtual stuff, being an agent for people. I'm trying to create that triangle where our people can just see it and just jump in it. And they might like real estate. They may like the online coaching. They may like the online speaking. They may understand the importance of real estate. And can I be real? If you get your credit straight, there are programs that you can use to start you up. There are starter programs in each one of these areas. And you can use the starter programs to get you going. And then once you get going and get your capital, then after that, man, it's off to the races. Off to the races.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Love y'all boys, man. Love y'all boys, man.
Love, man.
Hey, Carl got y'all going. Hey, y'all smart. Y'all use my guy. He's the man. He's the man.
Can we give a shout out to Carl real quick? Listen,
shout out to Carl,
we started this podcast. We didn't know what we was doing. I called E. He got me in touch with Carl. Carl set it straight, got us on the way, got our stuff out there. So, man, we give a big shout out to Carl right now. And ET, listen, there's thousands of people, right, that know who you are. But there's one person watching this program, and this is the first time they're exposed to you. So how does that one person find ET, the hip hop preacher? Like, where can he find you?
Yeah, I would just say go to Google. It's the easiest way. Just put in Eric Thomas or ET, the hip hop preacher, and just pray. Let the Lord lead you. There's spiritual stuff on there if that's what you want. Money, if you want to make money. If you're trying to get your marriage tight, I'm telling y'all, hey, I'm giving y'all all the secrets. I'm not holding nothing back. I'm not trying to act like I've been here my whole life because I haven't. I'm going to show you where I was from the beginning and how I got here. And I just want to encourage y'all with these last couple minutes that I have. I just want to encourage you guys, man, forget about the past. Y'all, you got so much life ahead of you. Learn from your mistakes. Here's what I say. It's only bad if you keep repeating it. It's only bad if you keep repeating it. It's only bad if you keep making the same mistakes. But if you make the adjustments, you know what I'm saying, and you get on with the rest of your life, I don't care if you're 50. I think the Colonel, KFC, my man was 60-something when he got started. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can call a whole bunch of people who started late in the game. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Don't let nobody make you feel stupid or dumb. You are a royal priesthood. You are a chosen generation. You know what I'm saying? You were born, you were born in God's image. God loves you. God has a work for you. And like I said, if the people who were supposed to love you didn't love you, find another crew. Find another group to run with. Don't
That's
give
a
up.
fact.
Don't give in. And hey, we here for you. The three of us are here for you. All my stuff is free. If you go online and you every day you do something, click something, you could do over 10 years of free content. There's over 10 years of free content. So if you cheat and you don't want to pay for nothing, it's all good. I ain't mad at you. I got it out there for you. All right. So love y'all, man. Man, respect y'all.
Love, bro.
Rocking since, man, the early 90s, right? Love y'all, man. Respect y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. And once we get on the other side of COVID, lunch on G. Lunch on G, huh? Lunch on G. Lunch on G, baby.
That's it. Yo,
I'll tell you, listen,
man.
I ain't the oldest one on this podcast right now, but
You got the longest pockets, though. You got the longest pockets, though.
That's it. Yo, if you like what you heard today, you on the Academy Podcast, make sure you hit the like button, share button, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes. Listen, we here, Spotify, G. We had another great time with Eric Thomas, man. So we appreciate you guys. And we'll see you next time on the Academy Podcast.
But let me clarify before we close. My pockets might be long, but they skinny. They don't weigh that much.
Lunch on G, man. That's how we're gonna end the podcast, everybody. Lunch on G, man.
Lunch on me. All right. Yeah.
You've been listening to the Academy Podcast with Austin and G. Hit the subscribe button and come again. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and of course, Facebook. Oh yeah, and if you know someone who could use the information you just gained, take a minute to share. Much love from the AP. Peace.